Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, you can start.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance to the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nastapraye Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Text 24. Maitreya Vacha, Evam Sanjalpitam Matur Akarnyartagamam Vacha Saniyamyatmanatmanam Nishakram Mapitu Purat. Synonyms. Maitreya Vach, the great sage Maitreya said, Evam, thus, Sanjalpitam, spoken together, Matu, from the mother, Akarnya, hearing, Artha Agaman, purposeful, Vacha, words, Sanyayamam, Sanya, Mia, controlling, Atmanam, by the mind, Atmanam, on self, Nishkrama, go out, Pitu, or the father, Purat, from the house. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, the instruction of Dhruva Maharaj's mother Suniti was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate considerations and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada ki jai. Both the mother and the son were lamenting Dhruva Maharaj's having been insulted by his stepmother and his father's not having taken any step on this issue. But mere lamentation is useless. One should find out the means to mitigate one's lamentation. Thus, both mother and son decided to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord because that is the only solution to all material problems. It is indicated in this connection that Dhruva Maharaj left his father's capital city to go to a secluded place to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the instruction of Prahlad Maharaj also that if one is seeking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contamination of family life and take shelter of the Supreme Godhead by going to the forest. To the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this forest is the forest of Vrindavan. If one takes shelter of Vrindavan under Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of his lives are solved very easily. Text 25. Naradastad upakarnyam jatva tasya chikirsitam sripta murdanya agagenam vanina praha peshmita. Synonyms. Narada, the great sage Narada, that, upakarnya, overhearing, snatva, and knowing, tasya, his, Dhruva Maharajas, chikirsitam, activities, swipstva, by touching, murdhanim, on the head, agangrana, which can drive away all sinful activities, panina, by the hand, Raha said, Bishmita, being surprised. Translation. The great sage Narada overheard this news, and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva, and touching the boy's head with his all-virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. Purport. When Dhruva Maharaj was talking with his mother Suniti of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, Narada was not present. Thus, the question may be raised how Narada overheard all these topics. The answer is that Narada is Trikalajan. He is so powerful that he can understand the past, future, and present of everyone's heart, just like the Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, Narada came to help him. It may be explained in this way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart. And as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva Maharaj. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. By the grace of the spiritual master in Krishna, one can enter into devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the Super Soul, immediately sent his representative, Narada, to initiate him. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Anahata Prayan Sinna Prabhupada Tustaye Sankirtan Pravitya Dekate Gauravane Namaha. Om Gyanat Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshiruminitam Jana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Good morning all, and thank you for the opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, my Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada in our yatra. So we've had various synopses on the full story of Dhruva Maharaj, and Nikit beautifully covered yesterday's verse. I'm sorry. Our Suniti Devi tells her little 5-year-old son that the only one who can really help him is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in today's text, we see that her instruction was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. And what was that desired objective? To get Prema Bhakti? No. The little boy was hurt by his stepmother Suruchi and totally neglected, and by his father, King Uttanapada. So the boy was obviously upset, and he wanted to take revenge somehow. His desire was to get a kingdom bigger than his father and even his grandfather. So Devi Suniti was deeply aware of the spiritual path and its significance. When Dhruva approached her, he was distressed after being insulted, hurt by his stepmother, not being protected by his father. Then Devi Suniti did not merely offer worldly consolation, oh, my poor child, come here, and that's okay, it will pass. No. Instead, she guided him towards a higher seeking, the favor of the Supreme Lord. So we can see over here actually an example of how mothers are the children's first spiritual master, and always having the best intention and proper guidance for the children. So she advised him that only the Supreme Lord could fulfill all desires, and that by pleasing him, one could achieve everything. So Devi Sunita knew that by focusing on devotion to Lord Vishnu, little Dhruva's desires would be fulfilled in the most exalted manner. At that young age, Dhruva Maharaj demonstrated such remarkable intelligence and maturity. He understood the path The path to the Supreme Lord is required both for determination and clarity of purpose. Dhruva Maharaj's intelligence was demonstrated by his understanding that his true goal was not just material success, but spiritual fulfillment. His intelligence allowed him to discriminate between what is eternal and what is temporary. A good lesson for all of us. We too need to discriminate between those things that are temporary and temporary attachment and what the real deal is, the eternal. Dhruva Maharaj was determined to attain his goal no matter what the challenges. Just imagine. The young boy was prepared to renounce the comfort of the royal life and the protection of his family to undertake rigorous austerities in the forest. His departure represents the beginning of his journey of self-realization and spiritual growth. Devi Suniti's guidance and Dhruva Maharaj's firm conviction shows how even material desires, when directed towards the Supreme Lord, can lead one to spiritual success. So this episode teaches that true intelligence lies in understanding the higher purpose of life, and that steady determination can overcome all obstacles in the pursuit of spiritual goals. And it was this determination that called the attention of the Lord in the heart, who bestowed his mercy on him by getting him connected to his spiritual master, Narada Muni, who, as we know, is a transcendental sage with the ability to travel freely across the material and spiritual worlds. He is known for his deep wisdom and his role as spiritual guide to many devotees. So when Narada Muni overheard the news of Dhruva Maharaj's determination to undertake severe austerities to please the Supreme Lord, he was struck with wonder. His reaction is significant because Narada Muni, who has witnessed countless events throughout the universe, he does not often express surprise. But his wonder indicates the extraordinary nature of Dhruva Maharaj's resolve and the divine influence within. So Narada Muni's understanding of little Dhruva's activities goes beyond mere observation. Being a spiritual advanced sage, so Narada Muni could perceive Dhruva's intentions and determination. Very important words: intention and determination. We always say we have to pay attention to the intention. So here is a result of that. And the spiritual significance of these actions, he recognized that despite, Dhruva Maharaj's tender age, the young prince had developed a rare and intense desire for the Supreme, fueled, of course, by his worldly ambition and a deeper spiritual yearning as guided by his mother. Narada Muni, understanding the significance of Dhruva's spiritual quest, did not ignore the young boy's endeavor. Instead, he personally approached Dhruva. So on one side, we see how Dhruva is ignored by his father. He was not protected, was rather neglected. But over here, Narada Muni's respect for the boy's determination and his desire to guide him on the right path, by touching Dhruva's head with his all virtuous hand, this is Narada not only blessed Dhruva, but also acknowledged the seriousness of his spiritual pursuit. So the touch of a great sage like Narada confers spiritual potency and protection. By his touch, the seed began to get the proper nectar to sprout. One very important thing to note here is that Narada Muni's approach to Dhruva is not merely out of curiosity or concern. Narada is known for his role as spiritual guide, so his interaction with Dhruva was meant to test the boy's resolve offer him practical advice, and ultimately help him achieve his goal in the most effective and spiritually beneficial way. We will see in future verses the important spiritual teachings given by Narada Muni to guide him in this spiritual practice. Now the question is, what is the practical application of the story? Do we have that determination? Well, we could take some examples. Again, firm determination, which resulted in attracting the attention of Narada Muni. This was possible by the mercy of the Lord in the heart. So when we set our mind on a goal and pursue it with dedication, others will notice and may come in our way to help us or to guide us. So while we may not possess such mystical powers to travel here and there, we can develop empathy and insight into others' needs and situations by cultivating mindfulness and a deep connection with the super soul in the heart. And practical terms, this means paying close attention to the emotional and spiritual needs of those around us and offering guidance and support when we sense they are already, they're ready for it. And when we have a spiritual desire to connect with the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, our guru, appears in our life as directed response to this desire by the mercy of the Lord. So being in our heart, the Lord knows perfectly well our wishes, our desires, but above all, our needs. The verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 19, 151, quoted by Srila Prabhupada, Guru Krishna Prasadam Paya Bhakti Latavij. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. This emphasizes that the seed of devotion, bhakti, is received by the grace of both Guru and Krishna. And at the same time, it underscores the dual aspect of receiving divine grace through the personal guidance of a Guru and through the direct intervention of Krishna as a super soul. Good reminder to probably go back to the third canto and review instructions of Lord Kapila Dev. And how important it is that we pay attention and understand and acknowledge him and acknowledge the Lord in the heart of every single living entity. We also have an example of the importance of protecting our little guys and little children and guide them properly. We should try to the best of our abilities, strengthen our determination by setting clear spiritual goals and adhering to daily practices such as chanting, praying, reading, listening to Srila Prabhupada. He's our founder Acharya, and he is the one who has that touch that will water the nectar of the seed in our heart. Determination, faith, trust, and of course, always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. I'll stop here. Once again, thank you for engaging.